In another interview about Xbox, it looks like former Nintendo head Reggie Fils-Aimé talked about how the industry is better with Xbox in it. I wanted to discuss this panel a little bit and talk about why just generally having more companies in the market is a good thing. Let's get into it. Thank you for watching. Let's get right into this topic. But first, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you like this channel. So the long and the short of it is there has been a lot of panels and such lately talking about Microsoft and the Xbox brand and the significance it's had over its 20 years in the industry. One of those panels was with Reggie Fils-Aimé and former Microsoft alumni getting together and talking about what Xbox means to them. And Reggie Fils-Aimé basically said that the games industry is better because of Xbox. Scrolling down here, this article is from purexbox.com, where they pulled some of the quotes from the interview. Reggie said basically, the moment in time of the launch, the moment in time now, 20 years later, the industry is better because of the Xbox launch. I passionately believe that. And the fact that there are all of these companies making all of this wonderful content, the ecosystem is so robust. Xbox is a big part of that. Now, I think that's important. And I think some people might take this in sort of a wrong way. So like Xbox entering the market is great. Nintendo being in the market is great. And Sony being in the market is great. I would never really want to see where only one company completely owns the market and nobody else is able to compete. This has been true since the Nintendo Entertainment System days when it was Nintendo and Sega, because it gives you a little bit more variety. It makes Nintendo try new things. It made Sega try new things. And then we saw that continuing to the Sega Genesis era, Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo, where Sega Genesis was allowed to do things like Blood and Mortal Kombat, and Nintendo was very family oriented, so they took the blood out. There were a lot of great games on the Super Nintendo, like Mario Kart is one of my all-time favorites. And then Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball. I really, really like the Sonic games on my Sega Genesis back in the day. And that competition has continued throughout the years. I think a little bit later on, we entered the era of the Sega Dreamcast. There was a lot of interesting things going on in the console market right around that time. There was like the Sega Saturn. There were sort of like right before that, there was the Sega Saturn, the 3DO, and all of these consoles trying to do different things and show off how they were more powerful. And at the end of it, we basically ended up with just the PlayStation 1. And I think it was still the N64 at that time because of the whole deal that fell through with Nintendo and Sony collaborating together. Because for a long time, Nintendo was king, and there were a lot of people trying to enter the console market and just not winding up successful. And then we all know about the crash of the Dreamcast and sort of the major reset for the industry. So let me paint a picture for you. Let's imagine that only Nintendo ever wound up successful and everybody else was gone. We would all just be playing our console games on a Switch right now, right? So the only console that would be available was the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo has no reason to, update the console really, besides keeping the market fresh. And the Switch is sold so well, I would imagine we'd be playing on that for a longer lifespan than expected. But that's not the case. What has happened is instead we have the Xbox Series X and S. We have the PlayStation 5, both the digital and the regular version. And competition and variety have pushed all these companies in interesting ways to try different things, try different ways that they improve their services, improve their consoles for competition with each other. And I think we benefit greatly when there are more companies in the market. And I'm really, really happy that Xbox is there and Sony's there and Nintendo's there, because you can see how they all challenge each other and how they all sort of feed off of each other. Each has their own unique different strategy, and I think there's a place for all of them, and I think it's kind of great. And especially going into 2022, where we're just going to have a fantastic year for gaming. He continues, Reggie even spoke about his own memories of the system, reflecting on how his son, who was an avid gamer, got them on board with the original Xbox and Halo Combat Evolved. So Reggie said, When Xbox launched, I wasn't in the industry, I was a consumer. I was that prototypical consumer that had a PS2 in my house already. Yeah, I had an N64. I was thinking about a GameCube, but I actually didn't buy a GameCube until I was already part of Nintendo. But my son, an avid gamer, was the one saying we need to check out this Xbox thing. And the driver was Halo. And that experience is what got the original Xbox into my house with a big old controller. That is my Xbox memory from the very beginning. You know, if you think back to when Nintendo was sort of having its heyday with the Wii and, you know, Sony, what was it? So it was GameCube, PS2, and the original Xbox at that time. That was a time for gaming. That's largely when I reignited my interest and passion for gaming. I remember I had the PS2 and I played all the Grand Theft Autos on PS2, and PS2 had that disc reader issue. So, you know, you probably had to buy a second PS2 when that happened. And I love my PS2. I played tons of stuff on the PS2. But then the Xbox came along, the original Xbox, and there was that game Halo that, for me, I saw I was at a house party or something, and my friends had an Xbox and they were playing Halo, and I was blown away. That's basically all I did all night. I didn't really hang out or socialize. I was just so interested in what this Halo game was, and my friend was explaining it to me at the time. I think his name was Travis, if I think way back, or Trevor. Oh my goodness, I apologize. But anyway, played Halo all night, had a great time, and I was like, I had to get one of these things. I was poor at the times. I didn't have a lot of cash, so I was able to, you know, get one at a mom and pop shop. I said, as soon as you get an Xbox, let me know, because they sold them at a really reasonable price and a good discount for consumers. So I got one there. I also got my GameCube there for the first time. So I had the trifecta of consoles, and man, there was just so much good stuff during that era. There was like Eternal Darkness, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on my GameCube. On my Xbox, it was Halo, Rainbow Six. On my PS2, it was the Grand Theft Auto games. Those are ones that stick out in my head, and like I have so many PS2 games in my library from that time, and fewer original Xbox games. I remember playing PGR, I remember playing Halo, I remember playing Rainbow Six, but I was a GameFly subscriber at the time, and I would constantly just be trying out all these different games because, you know, GameFly was a great service for the time, and I think Game Pass is the modernization of that idea of being able to check out basically as many games as you want for a subscription fee. I was also subscribed to Netflix at the time, where you would get discs all the time. The point is, it's better when you have multiple competitors vying for your attention, because it means you're going to get a better value. And it's something I've talked about a lot on this channel, and something that I'm really, really happy to see the industry still has moving forward today. And it's cool to see Reggie Fils-Aimé specifically say, the industry is better because of the Xbox launch. I passionately believe that. Think about what Xbox did. It had the Ethernet port, so Sony had to adapt to the Ethernet port. Eventually, it would create Xbox Live. It created this amazing multiplayer ecosystem for people to play together with their friends, and it has pushed the industry forward, just as Sony has pushed the industry forward and Nintendo has pushed the industry forward, and it's just great, right? So it's really happy. It just really made me happy to see that, and it really reminded me just why we want all of these companies making products, right? I don't want anybody to win. I think people being close to parity or people having competition is great, though, and I'm really, really happy to see it. All right, well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this sort of content, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I appreciate you very much. If you want to become a member, memberships are available right now. Thank you to all of the members that support this channel. I greatly appreciate you. If you want to become a member, you can click that join button right down there on YouTube. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody. Oh, and if you watch this on Thanksgiving, have a good Thanksgiving if you're in America. I know it happened already in Canada, so yeah, just have a good weekend with your family and friends, I hope. Bye for now.